we're back and we're going to be continuing our series with the 2022 Cleveland Browns positional previews as training camp continues on. Last time we talked about the defensive line and how that's going to shake up, and in this video we're going to be talking about the Cleveland Browns linebacker room. We're going to start off with Anthony Walker. He is the clear starter at middle linebacker. He's a veteran presence. He was a pretty good free agency pickup from a couple of years ago. When he's been healthy, he's been the clear starter. He's been a good addition for that defense, and if he just continues to be healthy and be who he is, then there's no reason that the Browns should look elsewhere for a middle linebacker at this time. He is currently on the active/non-football injury list, so he hasn't taken part in training camp yet, but I don't believe his injury is projected to take him out of any week one. He's not going to miss any regular season games because of this, and really that's all you really need him for. Off-season stuff and the preseason games are nice to get him in football shape, but when you've been in the league as long as he has, and when you're as good as he is, then really all that matters is, are you out there week one when the games start to matter? Moving on to the second-year phenom, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. That's the only time I will say his full name, just get that out there. From henceforth, he is JOK. So JOK was viewed as a steal in the second round of the draft last year. Even when he was first drafted, it wasn't like, retroactively he was a steal. People were actively wondering why he didn't get a first-round pick thrown his way as soon as the draft was happening. And I think a lot of it had to do, I think there was like an injury in there somewhere that might have made some teams a little weary about picking him. But when he was on the field, he showed immediately why those injury concerns should not have been concerns at all. He showed great play recognition, great speed. I guess he is like an older rookie, I suppose, but he showed great explosiveness, amazing play recognition again. I think those are abilities that you can't really overstate how important they are when you play the position that Koramoah plays. And there was talk in the year about, does he play kind of that hybrid area in between safety and linebacker? His deployment seemed to be pretty faithful to him as a linebacker. I didn't really remember seeing him, playing any secondary as far as I'm concerned, and he excelled at that position of linebacker. And I think the organization put some faith in him at his draft position, and I think he's rewarded them with some stellar play. There's no reason to believe that he can't be a tremendous linebacker for the Browns, not only this upcoming year, but for hopefully at least a decade to come. There's no reason to believe that he won't be that way. We're going to move on now to Jacob Phillips. Jacob Phillips is a guy who's entering his third year, and availability needs to become his best ability. That's really been the only thing holding him back so far, is that when he's been on the field, he's been a good impact, a good speed player. He's shown, a good knack for the position. It's just that he hasn't been consistently healthy enough. And, if that keeps happening, then it's going to be kind of a missed opportunity. But if he can stay healthy, if he can continue to, be who he is and impress throughout camp and preseason, then there's no reason to believe that he'll miss too many snaps this upcoming season. And I think we're going to start to notice his impact on the field a lot more once again if he's able to stay on the field and be able to contribute when he's there. Now we're going to another all-name contender in Sione Takitaki. Again, an all-name contender. It's one of the funnest names on the team to say. And unlike, Hajolte Froholt or whatever, he's not buried in the depth chart. Sione Takitaki has gotten better and better each year. His pass coverage has improved. I'll always remember his pick 6 on Carson Wentz in Philadelphia when, that whole debacle with him was going on in that stupid rainy ass game. It was an ugly game between those two in the 2020 season to watch, but Sione Takitaki getting that pick 6 will always be remembered in my books. He's going to definitely see a good amount of snaps, as he should. He's proven to be a contributor and just everything like that. Now on to another second-year guy in Tony Fields. This organization views him as more of a project that's going to continue to develop. I believe the organization seems to think that he can be a starter in the future, maybe in due time. As of right now, he's probably going to see a lot of preseason minutes. Probably he's going to get some good looks in camp. He'll definitely have opportunities to prove himself once the regular season starts, but it's not going to be at full strength. It will be when one of the other guys ahead of him has to sub out, or maybe in a special package or two. They're definitely going to monitor when he's on the field and when he's not. Tony Fields, if he continues to grow and develop, could be a tremendous impact player for the Browns in the near future. But as for this season, he'll be kind of buried on the depth chart a little bit. That's my prediction anyway. I think he'll be fine, but he'll be buried on the depth chart. And in a couple of years, we'll see how good that pick was. Now on to Willie Harvey. Willie Harvey's been like an on again, off again guy on the roster for the past couple of years. He's like one of their call-ups when the entire team goes out for COVID or there's an emergency issue with the linebacker room. An emergency fill-in who's been around the block, and if he's on your roster, if he's on your starting 11 on defense, it probably means a couple of your guys got hurt or they're just really bad. Dakota Allen is a guy who's been with Jacksonville for the last couple of seasons. I'm going to be honest, I didn't watch a lot of Jacksonville Jaguars football last year, even though Urban Meyer was down there causing a mess. He played some good snaps, he has stats, he's been in the league for a while, so hopefully he can add a veteran presence and stability to training camp and maybe push some of the younger players a little bit, show some hunger for a roster spot that who knows if he gets, but again, if he helps improve the competition at that linebacker position, then that's a great addition for training camp. And if he makes the 53-man roster, then that's a good find for the Browns anyway. So last and maybe not least, we got Silas Kelly. He is an undrafted free agent from Coastal Carolina. An undrafted free agent usually means that you're taking a flyer on a guy. We'll see if he does anything. We'll see what he does in camp in the preseason. We'll see if there's a diamond in the rough there. But he probably doesn't make the lineup. Maybe he becomes a guy that the Browns, they kind of know and they can kind of go to on their practice squad, or if they need more training camp bodies, they can get him back again, kind of get him indoctrinated into the system. And maybe after, a couple of years of developing under the Browns system, then maybe he becomes a depth guy who does make the 53-man roster eventually, but probably not this year, you don't think. So that was the linebacker room. I think that this group will be solid if they stay healthy. However, if a few injuries start to pile up consecutively on top of each other, then this position could look pretty weak pretty fast. Although, when I do these, I don't assume injury. I don't assume ill health or anything. I just kind of note when guys have had injury issues in the past. But I kind of err on the side of optimism of, if they can stay on the field, and I kind of assume that they will when I make these, that this unit is going to be pretty good. This is going to be a pretty good group. The Browns defense looks good on paper, except for maybe defensive tackle, and the linebacker room is a significant part of that. Obviously, if you don't have a good linebacker core, you probably don't have that great of a defense to begin with. Thank you all for watching the video. If you've made it this far, if you like it and you would like to see more, please feel free to leave a like and a subscribe. Let me know what you think about the Browns linebacking core in the comments below. Thank you once again for watching, and I will see you at the next one.